What's up, guys? This is Boondocks here, and now I'm going to be showing my good touch, bad touch Siren. And basically, the whole point of this is that we're going to have constant healing and be able to burst enemies down without having to use the B shield. I actually like this build for just playing through the game every so often, and I think it's a lot of fun, especially when you're with other players, and you don't have to worry about losing your shield like you would with a B-Hawk. So basically, we're going to try to get Cataclysm Tree all the way down to get Ruin. In order to do that, we're first going to put points in Foresight. This is actually one of the few abilities that's pretty good in this tree, because it gives you the increased mag size and reload speed, which helps you sustain your damage. I put points in a Flicker just in the hopes of being able to light people on fire. It's kind of a pointless ability, but it's on the same tier as everything else. Immolate can help you get back up, but I find it to be just about as pointless because I don't plan on getting down that often. Plus, then I have a Norfleet anyway. I do like Chain Reaction, even though some people don't. The reason I like it is when you phase lock an enemy and shoot them, you have a chance for all your shots to hit other enemies, and that's very helpful. Then Reaper. When you have a class mod that gives you +5 to this, it increases your damage up to 80%, which is very high. I mean, it's only good whenever your enemy is above 50% life, but all in all, it's quite noticeable. Again, Blight Phoenix is just a throwaway point to be able to move down to Ruin. The reason I like Ruin is it has a very good chance of slagging, and it also electrocutes and corrodes all nearby enemies. So when you have this with Converge, you pretty much slag everybody within a given area, as well as lighting them on, or electrocuting them and corroding them all. It's pretty nice and I enjoy it. Over here in the motion tree, I'm going to max out Accelerate. This is good because it gives you the bonus damage and bullet speed. Even though the bonus damage isn't all that great, it still is extra on top of everything else, and every little bit counts. The reason I don't put anything in Ward is the shield we're going to be using doesn't use it. We will be using the Rough Rider. We're going to take Suspension, just because the longer the enemies are suspended, the more damage we're going to be able to do. This synergizes over in the Harmony tree with both Elated and Wreck, but we'll get to that in a second. Since we're going to be using the Rough Rider, I like to take Fleet. This gives you a ridiculous amount of movement speed, and it's going to be up all the time because of Fleet. I like being able to run around, and it lets you escape from danger while still being able to damage your enemies going backwards, and they usually can't catch up to you, so you can get to safety and heal yourself back up. So then I like to take Converge. Obviously, like I said before, Converge synergizes really well with Ruin, because you pull all the enemies in close to each other, and now they're all instantly slagged, electrocuted, and have corrosion on them. Also, now if you hit the phase-locked enemy, you have a chance of those bullets ricocheting to other enemies thanks to Chain Reaction. I then take Quicken so that way we can toss out our phase lock and therefore use Ruin more often. Over here in the Harmony tree, I put 4 points in the Mind's Eye just to get increased critical damage. This build's not too focused on criticals as much as just being able to sustain yourself while doing massive amounts of burst damage. I then take Sweet Release just to be able to heal myself and teammates and just have that much more sustain. Wreck, as I said, is an amazing ability and it synergizes well with a lot of your other skills. The reason Wreck is so devastating is whenever you phase lock an enemy, you gain 100% increased fire rate and 60% damage. This doesn't just go against the phase locked enemy, but rather it just buffs your character. So if you phase lock one enemy and then burst down all the enemies around them, you can then go back and finish off the phase lock guy and usually clear out an entire room. Typically what I like to do though is phase lock the biggest, most threatening enemy in the area. He'll have everyone else suck to him thanks to Converge, and then you can burst him down, and Chain Reaction will also help kill all the smaller enemies as well. I always put 1 point in a res just in case I get into a team match, because it gives you that instant res potential with your phase lock, and I absolutely love that ability. Then Elated, again, just helps you with sustain. Whenever you phase lock an enemy now, you're going to be able to heal yourself up. It's only 5%, but with a Rough Rider shield, 5% is a lot. It's 5% per second, so it's even that much better. Sorry about that. So for weapons, we're going to take the Good Touch and the Bad Touch, both of which are Moxie weapons. And since they're Moxie weapons, they're going to heal us up. So you take the Good Touch for fire damage and the Bad Touch for corrosive. Obviously, fleshy targets, armored targets. I also take the Florentine just in case I need to get extra slag, but it's very unlikely. If you want, you can actually switch out with the Grog Nozzle. The reason you might want to do that is with the Grog Nozzle out, you'll get increased healing, but it's not that necessary since you already have the good Bad Touch. Like I've been saying, we're going to be using the Rough Rider and the Homing Stormfront. The reason I like the Homing Stormfront is the amount of procs it gives you will pretty much guarantee that you're up to full health as long as you have out one of your good or bad touch guns. I'm going to take the Norfleet, obviously, for second wins. And then we're going to take the Legendary Class mod, or the Legendary Cat class mod. The reason I take this is it gives you the increased SMG damage at a decreased accuracy. The accuracy is not that big of a deal since we're not going to be focusing on trying to get crits with this build. But it gives you the increase to Wreck and Reaper, so therefore a lot more damage from those two abilities, and you also get the Accelerate and Foresight in there as well. Then obviously we're going to do the Bone of the Ancients, whether it's fire damage or corrosive damage, depending on what enemies you're against, and it gives you that cooldown reduction, which is always nice, especially when playing Maya. Okay, so first off, you can see how fast you move. I usually carry a Breakneck Banshee class mod with me as well, for trying to get from one area to the next when playing with teammates. So lock him down, and dead. It's that easy. And then I throw out a Homing Stormfront, so any damage I took while falling back is negated. Just phase lock, and dead. And I just cleared out the whole room. That's how easy it is with this setup. I personally, you can go with different shields for more tankiness, but it's kind of unnecessary since you're going to have so much healing using Moxie weapons. You might as well take the Rough Rider for the damage reduction and the ridiculous movement speed increase. Just instantly grab him, crush him down.
You're dead meat!
Okay, yeah, I'm dead meat. Go fuck yourself. Again, if you're ever in an area where you think you're going to be taking some damage, just throw out a Homing Stormfront, and you're pretty much guarantee yourself that you're going to be able to heal your way through it. Uh-oh. That's not good. Oh, nah, I blew myself up. That sucks. Again, just throw out some grenades and watch my health go. And since I had an enemy phase lock, look how much damage just the grenades were doing to him. Because your grenades actually gain that increased damage as well. It's kind of bullshit, to be honest, and I absolutely love it.
Stay still.
Now, Ruin is not the most powerful slag tool since you have to rely on it being up all time. So if you're having issues keeping enemy slag, try to pick up something like a magic missile. Magic missiles I've found time and again to be one of the best grenades for slagging enemies. And it means that you won't have to switch over to, say, the Florentine like it's so, and try to slag them. The Florentine slag chance isn't all that great, so you might want to think about carrying something like a slag. Also, the Grog Nozzle, oddly enough, has an immense amount of slag chance on it as well. I actually think it's higher than what the card even says it is. At least that's my personal feeling. So right there, I didn't try shooting him because he still had his shield up, and I don't like shooting shielded guys because the bullets will bounce back at you. And you can pretty easily kill yourself, even though you're not V-hawking, so you won't instantly burst yourself. It's a nice, different trade-off. Right there, even without having someone phase locked, I was able to kill him as easily as I did, because he was over 50% health for most of the time. That allowed me to burst him down pretty quickly. I don't know why that turret's even there. Whenever that thing appears, it's like a one-shot fucking kill. It's still like level 10 or something. I don't fucking know. I just think it's stupid. Okay, last time I came up here on a different character run, kind of screwed myself over. He did a lot of extra damage to me up here, but that was because there was one of the armored, ironclad psycho guys, ironclad lunatic, and he was able to just run in on me.
Please stop.
Oh man, took a lot of damage right there. Not totally sure what from. I forgot to point something out too in the builds. So, some people I've noticed like to take subsequence. The reason I don't ever take subsequence is it gets stuck on a lot. And the way Rec works and all your other abilities, an enemy actually needs to be phase locked. So while subsequence is traveling between one enemy and another, the timer is still decreasing, but enemies aren't phase locked. I would prefer to have my phase locked enemy die, and then my cooldown start immediately, so that way I can phase lock the next enemy quicker. Whenever you have subsequence, it can be a detriment. There are cases where in a big open area where enemies are stacked near each other, you can get continuous phase lock, phase lock, phase lock, but to me, it's not quite worth the risk. Just throw out a grenade as well, and watch them burn. This is a very non-gimmicky type build. It's very straightforward. You just phase lock enemies and burn them down. Try to make sure that whatever enemy you're hitting is above 50% health, or you have something phase locked, because obviously you can't always have something above 50% health, otherwise you're going to die. But just try to keep those phase locks coming and stay safe. As long as you're doing damage, you're getting procs on enemies, they will die, and die quick. I definitely like the homing Stormfront for the healing potential and the damage potential, but it's your call. Feel free to switch it out for Magic Missile, or you could take Pandemic if you're going up against armored targets. Anything that you see fit. So that's my good touch, bad touch Siren. Hope you guys liked it. Good luck. Have fun. Peace.